Okay, so exercise B, we're looking at the presence of lipids. This is exercise B1, where we're using basically a brown paper bag, like a grocery bag, when cutting it into strips, and then subjecting the bag to the different things we're testing for. So we have water, again, as a negative control. We're going to test cornstarch for the presence of lipids, salad oil. We have peanut butter and hummus. So you can see, well, with respect to the water, you can see that it kind of just dissolves right into the paper, and eventually it'll dry off. You won't see the spot anymore. And if something has a lipid in it, it'll leave a greasy spot, and that's a positive test for a lipid. That's an easy down and dirty test for lipids. Now, if we move on to B2, which is also a test for lipids, in this case we're using the dye Sudan-4, or the reagent Sudan-4, to test for the lipids. And a positive lipid test with Sudan-4 will either be a red layer, floating red layer, like if you mix a lipid with water, for example, the lipid will be floating on top, and that'll be positive for Sudan-4. Or it could be floating red droplets, okay? So we're testing water, salad oil. We have here Italian dressing with fat, Italian dressing that's fat-free, and then apple juice. And once they've been reacted with Sudan-4, the result comes out like this. And you can see, for example, that water, even though it's pink, there's no floating red droplets or floating red layer, so that's a negative. This one here is salad oil, and you can see that it has a floating red layer. And then here you see floating red droplets, and this is Italian dressing with fat. Well, you could have predicted that because it's Italian dressing with fat, right? So it's going to test positive with Sudan-4. These are not toxic at all. Once you finish using them, you can just, in this case, throw out the paper. In this case, just wash the tubes normally. And the result comes out pretty quickly.